And as a young man, he was summoned to the wars. Spent his best years with blood on his hands.
Hey guys, it's HomoMoto. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I was going to talk to y'all today about the Me Too movement and how this day and time it basically means guilty until proven innocent. I had a situation happen to me at my previous job back when I was still working, and I'll get to that in a minute. But first I want to talk about some of the false accusations. Start with Brett Kavanaugh. There were several females that accused him of sexual misconduct, sexual assault, sexual battery, etc., so on and so forth. And, you know, they were trying real hard. There was one person in particular, that professor, I think her name was Ford, that was just insistent upon he had done things with her that, you know, she couldn't even tell the exact date that it happened, or even close. She knew the season-ish. She didn't know where it happened. She didn't know who all was there. The people that she said were there were her quote-unquote witnesses, said it didn't happen. You know, I used to work law enforcement, and if all the witnesses would say it didn't happen, it probably didn't. And then there were a couple other ladies that had accused him of such just because they didn't want him in office. Guys, that's sick. That's ridiculous. You know, I watched that man testify, and everyone talked about the Ford lady gave an emotional testimony. No, she didn't. She was about as monotone as one could get. I mean, I'm not going to put the footage up, but just go back and check it out. She was very monotone about the entire situation. There was no way that she was giving an accurate testimony, nor was it actually something that was bothering her. Her tears were fake. She never actually dropped a tear. She just, I mean, I can fake that all day long. I mean, come on. Let's go to the next subject. Danny Masterson. This guy played on that 70s show, and he was recently on a show, it was a Netflix original called The Ranch. Well, he was actually accused of sexual misconduct to the point where Netflix actually ended up firing him. Now, these supposed charges happened years and years ago. So it's not current co-workers or current actors that have accused him. This is people from years ago. I think one of the cases was actually 20 years ago. What? Really? Okay, so you're going to fire this man. I mean, yeah, he's got some money, but you're going to fire this man, which basically take away his livelihood and destroy his character, destroy his reputation over something that has not been proven. Netflix, shame on you. It's ridiculous. You know, back when I was in law enforcement, we had this saying, it was called innocent until proven guilty. That doesn't seem to be the case with the whole Me Too situation. I don't want to discredit the actual cases, the legitimate cases where this has happened, because there's a bunch of them. Okay, guys, keep it in your pants. If a woman says no, no means no. Don't keep on, don't continue, don't pressure, don't pursue. If a woman says no, take it at face value and step away. If you know, move on to the next female or guy, whatever your case may be. You know, no means no. Stop it. But, you know, for the ladies out there, if I've got any female subscribers and you know any of your girlfriends that have no problem dropping false charges, false allegations, tell them they need to quit it, because that crap comes back to you. You know, karma is a real big bitch. And I don't feel sorry for people when they get found that they lied. You know, filing false criminal charges, especially for a felony type situation, that's a very serious criminal situation. Not to mention the money that you're trying to get out of them. You don't think they can't do that to you too? They sure can. You know, and I do not feel sorry for you when that happens. And I do have some compassion, a lot of compassion, when it's a legitimate case. I believe the Stormy Daniels situation, I believe that was probably credible. You know, there was too many parts of her story made you know, way more sense than the whole Kavanaugh situation. Now, let me get back to my situation. I had a female security guard come up to me, and she says, "Hey, come here for a minute. Come here for a minute." I was on a forklift, so I rolled over to her to see what she wanted. This young lady turned her cell phone screen around so I could see it, and on the screen was her, and she had a device that sounded kind of like a belt sander. Not going to give much more details than that. But anyway, you know, I told her, I says, "I don't want to see this." And I guess she thought maybe I would, because I've had several females approach me wanting to date or hang out or whatever, and I just tell them, and I kind of use this as a safety, that I don't date white girls. And the reason I would always tell them that is because there was very few black girls at work, and none of them that were there had approached me. So I figured that was a good safety, a good way out, so to speak. So I'd always tell them I don't date white girls. And that statement almost shot my credibility on this case, because when it went to HR, she actually went to HR and said that I approached her, and they saw in the video that I pulled up on my forklift. Okay. And when she started, you know, showing me the videos and things, I'm like, "No, I'm not interested." I drove off. Well, she said that I had fondled myself in front of her, and that I was propositioning her. Well, HR contacted me to come to the office because it was something they needed to talk to me about. And what they needed to talk to me about was these false allegations. And I told my HR rep, I says, "Look, you know, that's not me, that's not what happened." And I told her what she had on her phone that she had turned around and showed me. And she says, "Well, you know, there have been several people reported that they've heard you say you don't date white girls." I said, "Honey, I don't date any girls." She said, "What?" I said, "I don't date any girls. I haven't dated girls in over 20 years. Well, HR done a full investigation. They hired their own attorneys, they hired their own investigators and everything, and found out that I was very much telling the truth. That I hadn't dated a female in a very, very long time, and there was only 2 in my history of ever dating anybody that I was dating a female. So, you know, that went a long way, and I guess they had encountered some of my, we'll just say, friends from the past that said, "Hey, you know, I didn't know he dated girls, but he sure dated me." So, you know, they quickly dismissed the charges. Well, I was also then approached by the ACLU and I think it was NAACP and somebody else. Anyway, I was approached by several agencies wanting to question me and, you know, really harassing me, and I just told them, you know, contact my attorney or contact the company's attorney. You know, I've given a written statement, and it was you know, it was what it was. And all the charges through everybody that tried to contact me, including this lady's attorney, all said, "No, this never happened." And it didn't. And this woman, after the fact, actually threatened me with physical harm when she couldn't get any money out of me or the company. Total false allegations. In law enforcement, I'm going to tell you, it's about 8 to 12% of all rape claims that you didn't actually have damage, proof, rape kit, that they're false claims. There's no validity to them at all. And I have to question, shouldn't you do some research on a charge before you take action against it? Especially something that's 20 years old. Man, I'm telling you, the Me Too movement is a very credible movement. My sister and I were talking about this the other day. It means a lot if you use it right. When you falsely accuse someone and ruin their credit, ruin their life, you know how many people have committed suicide because of being falsely accused? How many people have went to prison for rape that didn't? You know, guys, like I said, keep it in your pants. You know, unless you're involved with somebody on a regular basis, I don't recommend, you know, getting too fresh. Take notes. I'm not saying notes about your activity, but if someone approaches you about something that, you know, you get the heebie-jeebies about, you think you might be about to be set up, take notes. You know, write down witnesses. This day and time, you got to protect yourself because ain't nobody looking out for you but you. Guys, that's all I got for this one. I love y'all, and roll tide.
I was a storm, and I passed right over you. And I tried to eclipse the sun in the hopes that you love the tumble and spray in your face, and the sky broken by light.